All right, it's yours. So most high Christ bless your Bible. All right, happy Sabbath. All right, so all praises to the Most High, bringing us together, fellowship, keep His commandments, learn what His will is, and walk in the Spirit. Let's shut that door. All right. So, like I said, today we definitely gonna have a Q&A day where you could ask your questions and get some answers. According to scriptures. All right. So the first one is, how do you deal with someone that does not want to listen to correction according to scriptures? How do you deal with someone that does not want to listen to correction according to scriptures? And I think that y'all should write these things down. That's the question, and we'll get the answer according to scriptures. You need for me to repeat it. How do you deal with someone that does not want to listen to correction according to scripture? What is the first approach?
To apply the scriptures.
All right, yeah, apply the scriptures.
Would you first send up prayers and watch unto prayer?
Send up prayers and watch unto prayer.
Sure.
Charity. Okay. Yeah. Anybody else? Seek counsel. Yeah, you can do that too. I think that's one of the first things. Get some help after you've depleted yourself and they still not listening. Get some help to help you resolve the differences. Because what Satan wants to do is to wear you down. Most people have them spirits on them, and them spirits want you to stop correcting them because they're going to be cast out. And spirits don't want to leave. They don't want to leave because the host likes them. The spirit knows when a brother likes it or when a sister likes it. Yeah, these are true things that we never really think about. That you will be the host for a spirit that likes you. Okay? And that's the reason why the spirit won't leave. So being charitable, yeah. But one of the attributes of charity that you got to have is patience. Patience, not personal. Patience, not personal. Right? Trying to find something particular. Matthew 8. Matthew 8 and 28. He was coming to the other side of the country of the Gergesenes. There met him two possessed with devils coming out of the tombs, exceeding fierce. Tomb is where a cemetery is. So two come out of what we would call today a tomb, a cemetery, so that no man might pass that way. So they were possessed with spirits, and because these guys there were crazy, people wouldn't even go that direction. It's no different today with people set claiming and not going around a certain area because the people in that area is protective. They don't want you coming down this way. The same thing. Those are spirits. Set claim. And behold, they cried out, saying, "What have we to do with thee, Yahushua, thou Son of God, you righteous man? Art thou come hither to torment us before the time? And you're going to judge us, you're going to destroy us?" Now, these were actual people saying this, but they didn't understand that spiritually, the thing that was motivating for them to say all of this stuff was spirits inside of them. So others could have thought it was funny, making mockery, like we were in Florida and the spirit walked down the street and said that we were a council of judges or something like that. So we were out here to convictors. Here's a council of convictors. Did y'all hear it on the tape? Yeah. But they never met us before. But what they were used to a certain people, railing on them. The ones that normally be there. Some other brothers from out there. So they cried to him, verse 30, and there was a good way off from them a herd of many swine feeding. So it was maybe some farm or something, and there were pigs. So the devils besought him, meaning the spirits that was in these people, saying, "If thou cast us out, suffer us to go away into the swine, or to the herd of swine." So they really didn't want to go, but if you make us go, why into the swine? Because it's another host. It's another host. And all the swine got to do is come in contact with somebody else, And then that unclean spirit will leave the swine and interact into people. You don't even have to eat it. All you have to do is be near it and then be acting up. You invite spirits into you with your behavior. Smoking spirits, if you want to smoke, if you desire to smoke and you'll go around somebody that's smoking, next thing you know, you're smoking. So whatever you're doing, you give these spirits an invitation to come by you. And he said unto them, go. And when they were come out, wait a second. Did y'all hear it? What did it say? When they will come out. Because they were in somebody. They came out. When you got somebody that don't want to listen to correction according to the scriptures, you're dealing with spirits on them that don't want to come out. When these spirits come out, they went into the herd of swine. The spirits don't like correction because the host likes the person because the person keep agreeing with the behavior of that spirit. So in situations like that, you need divine intervention. You need to try and be more smarter than the demon that has taken possession of the host. You gotta outsmart the spirit. That's when charity come in. Because everybody have a natural soul. They have a spirit that God gave to them, but the demon is inside of the person and suppressing and deceiving your natural man. Yeah. In your mind, the spirits is talking to that person in their mind. And the more aggressive you seem, the more right the spirit seem, the demon seem. So you got to show that demon that wrong about you, that demon wrong about you. You got to have them questioning themselves. Oh, they think it's themselves, but if themselves, it's the spirit. Man, that's not right, because they got to see you in a different light. That's why you can't go in with your personals. I hope we understand this, because it's not wrong. Even though it might not be word for word explained to you, I'm showing you the scriptures and I'm helping to make the sense of this thing. I'm helping to make the sense of the process of what's going on right here and what happens in the mind. You know how your mind starts talking to you about somebody and it starts revealing and exposing and telling you how this person ain't this and that person ain't that. This person ain't no good. This person this person that. Yes, that's the demon talking to you, talking to the natural you and turning you against that person that's trying to help you. That's why when you're trying to help somebody, you cannot be abrasive. Because inside of the mind of that person, they are already fighting off thinking evil about you. And they got spirits in their mind telling them, you a dirty dog. You don't like me. For real. I know you don't like me. And people will come out and say, I know you don't like me. That's not them. That's the spirit that's been telling them you don't like them for real. Lying to them the whole time. Spirits lie to you. Spirits don't tell you the truth. Spirits not telling them the truth. Spirits are lying to them, misleading them. I'm going to show you something about the evil spirit. About the wicked spirit. I don't know. We just went over it. It's 6. Please ask for 6. Please ask for 6. In verse 2. Bear with me. Put something up for us. See, Ecclesiastes 6 and 2. It says, extol not thyself in the counsel of thy own heart. Listen to the definition of extol. It says praise enthusiastically. Praise enthusiastically. In other words, to highly praise, highly lift up. Highly lift up what? Your own mind. Because what you don't know is when you give your mind the credit and you highly praising it, you are setting in concrete your thoughts. What if your thoughts are wrong? Don't you know that you're going to reap the benefit from being wrong? Extol not thyself in the counsel of thine own heart, that thy soul be not torn in pieces. So in other words, people trust in their mind. Who are they really trusting in? Say loud.
The spirit.
The spirit. That spirit. They trusting in a demon that's in them. So the demon is inside of your head, straight telling you what to do. Straight telling you. The demon will pick your life apart. The demon will have you leave your husband as a woman. The demon will have you leave your wife as a man. The demon will have you leave your house if you're a child. The demon will have you leave the church. The demon will have you turn your back on God. The demon will have you forsake what you know is right. And you extol the counsel of the demon, the spirit that's in your mind, until it does something to you, like tear you in pieces. And you'll be like, oh, I know this ain't right. I know this ain't right. And then the Most High will then begin to have you stern remembrance what's right and what's wrong, because your own conscience will have hurt you so bad to where then you will start reflecting on those things that were right, and you will see that that person or those people were there trying to tell you and help you all the time. That thou soul be not torn in pieces as a bull straying alone. Now you by yourself. Because it had pushed everything out. Everything and everybody out. It had pushed it out and it had pushed it away. And guaranteed, this happens 100% to everybody that do not receive the correction of the Most High according to the scriptures. This is perfect. Not in a good way. It's perfect to make you lose. It ain't a if. It is a matter of time. In due process of time, it shall come to pass. that whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. If you sow to the flesh, of the flesh you shall reap corruption. It's going to happen. Now, as true believers in the Christ, and brothers and sisters being sincere and loving the Most High and loving your people and trying to grow, you don't have to turn back and see, I wonder did Jimmy get jacked up yet? No, you don't even have to do that. Just keep moving forward. Jimmy gonna get jacked up, and he might come back around and say, hey, you was right. I got jacked up. You was right. I got jacked up. I apologize. Okay, brother. Because you know what he want now? He want the thing, or she want the thing that they was refusing. Now that boat could have been sailed. Because we are spiritually motivated. We move when the Spirit move us. So the intensity that we have to put and invest in you, it might not be the same as it was then. That's not something we control. You think we control that. But that's not true. It's not true. That's why the scriptures say, exalt one another while it is called what? Today, why any of you be hardened through what? The deceitfulness of that spirit. It's in your mind. You get hardened by that spirit that's in your mind, it's going to be too late. Today is going to pass. The Most High way might have you to move on. We work for the Lord. You ever had a serviceman come out to your house to commit a service, and now you might want to hold them up and you say, oh, well, I'm on a time frame. They measure how much time I'm at their house, and I got to do this. I had that, and I had to respect it. Okay, you only have so much time to do this, but I can make an appointment to do all these extra things, but I got time allotted for this, and yeah, they're going to make sure that now I go from here to the next thing and to the next. Hey, you don't understand. And why don't we understand? Because the spirit in our mind been telling us. That been our understanding. That spirit in our mind been telling us for the longest. And the true understanding of how the process and course of life is supposed to be, you've been ignoring it. They've been ignoring it. So trying to get them to understand according to the scriptures, hey, good luck. I wish you well. The only thing that you can do, you can be charitable, but this is what they up against. You have to be charitable. And we've been going through charity for the last 2 weeks. So there's no need to drag that out. Charity is a behavior and what you must apply from you towards other people. And it's up to them whether they're going to accept it or not. If they don't accept it, that's no fault of yours because they don't accept it. A lot of people be thinking like, what did I do wrong? You do nothing wrong. It's the other person. They not gravitated to you. Verse 3, it says, thou shalt eat up thy leaves and lose thy fruit. They gonna eat up their leaves and lose their fruit. What are the leaves? Think about it. Thou shalt eat up thy leaves. Thoughts? What are thy leaves? You have to eat something in this precept. Go ahead.
The fruit.
The fruit. Exactly. The fruit that what?
On the tree.
That's on the tree. Okay. Where did it come from?
Seed.
The seed. What about the seed?
You grow in your mind.
Nah, leave the mind out. The thing that you planted. See, you did this, and now consequences come behind what you did. And many people don't like to, face those consequences. Say, for instance, you go out and you rob a store. You was high. You thought it was funny. You pulled out a gun. You got all the free snacks and a paper bag full of money. Grab chewing gum on the way out the store. You see? Send somebody in for a beer. Now you got the beer. So look at all the crimes. You stole over. You flourished a weapon. You had a weapon in the commence of a crime. I ain't gonna even put the murder in there. You ain't killed nobody, but so now it's time for you to stand and face the consequences for all these things that you did. You don't want to stand and face those charges. You want it to be looked at as you went in there and took something and I know I'm guilty and that's it and I'm sorry. No, they're going to break it down. You committed robbery, unlawful use of a weapon, unlawful possession of a weapon. You threaten a person's life. Might get you on, to commit murder or something like that. You could have murdered somebody. In possession of a firearm. See, some of these states they crazy. They got all these different laws, and people don't think about any of that stuff when they doing stuff. They just do stuff. So everything that you did wrong, now you have to face the music of those things. And when this person that holding you responsible break it down to you, you're like, this is too many leaves to eat. This is too much for me to bear. You're going to eat those leaves. Each and every last one of them, you're going to swallow down. And you're going to taste the bitterness from each and every last one of them. You don't have to do that. If you listen and you obey the voice of the Most High, our God, if you understand that this walk in this life come with affliction, come with mourning, it's better than eating leaves. What are eating the leaves? Facing those consequences. I would rather be mourning and go through the affliction of not having to do this than to eat the leaves, which is the fruit of some bad results, even worse consequences. I would rather, because I can always heal and then think positive and then let the Lord, the Most High, give me some things that's reasonable according to his will and help me to accept those things than to get 5 years for each and every last one of those counts. I end up with now being a black man living in America, I got 35 years in a state penitentiary with a bunch of men who ain't never getting out, who's now their mind is looking at another man as a woman. So you gotta learn to accept what the Most High say you can do and what you can't do, and then you gotta learn to get over the things that's afflicting you and your mournings and your groanings by the fellowship with brothers and sisters encouraging you, hey, don't do this, don't do that, and stepping every day, walking, talking with you, making sure that hey, you're okay over there. Don't do this, don't do that. That's better than you ending up with 35 years in the penitentiary because you robbed a liquor store while being high, flourishing a gun, stealing, and putting all these people's lives in danger. What is it, Julie?
I was just gonna give a testimony about that because, like you said about the seed, it's the thing that got put into you. And like when I was Jordan age, I've been through a scare straight program and things of that nature. But as time proceed and I got older and foolish and things of that nature. In high school, I committed a crime, so I did strong arm robbery, and I ran, at the time, running with the wrong people, I didn't think nothing about it. I had the possessions in the item in my possession and things of that nature. I was running from the police, not trying to turn myself in because I didn't want to face that music. And, it caught up to me where I had to turn myself in. And then, I ended up doing over a year in juvenile detention, but it's like the seed that was planted, I didn't take heed to that. The Scare Straight program, the thinking about the things that, I heard other people that was older than me talk about, so I don't make the same decisions they made. I end up making and having to face that music. When I first went into that cell, and they gave me I remember when we went to the females, the correction part, And she told us as kids that, you know, the food in here is cold. They don't care what they feed you, this, that, and third. And I remember when I went into that cell and they closed the door and they gave me a lunch tray, and literally the food was real cold. And I just poured out my eyes because it was like I could have listened. I should have listened, and I would have had to face this. And you know, I just wanted to share that. It's like very true what he's saying. So,
All right. So you're gonna eat them leaves, Israel. You're gonna eat them. And nobody wants that. Nobody likes that. I see it all the time. I see it all the time. Everybody that I deal with, I see them happen to eat their leaves, happen to eat of the tree that they have planted. If you sow it, you're going to eat it. You're not going to like it. And then it says, and lose thy fruit. You know what the fruit is? The Spirit. The fruit is the fruit of the Spirit. Go to the book of James. I'm sorry. Galatians 5:22. Galatians 5:22. This is what you lose, okay? When you make that choice. It says you're going to lose your fruit. You're going to lose the fruit of the Spirit. You're going to lose love. You're going to lose love. You know the love that you're going to lose? The natural love that you have for people. You're going to be like F people. You're not going to care. Let me tell you why? Because you're going to be like, don't nobody care about me. You're going to start dealing with people that don't care about you because you walked away from the people of God, God-fearing people. You walked away, or they put you out. They might have had to put you out for your actions. Remember 1 Corinthians 5. We remember that, right? If any man, and it goes into different things like fornication, reller, stuff like that, with such one or not to eat. So they stop associating with you because you don't be dealing right. You're bad for them. Sisters, pay attention. Let's just make all sisters in here adults and married, even the little babies, adults and married. And you have a whoremongering man, not your man, but you got a good man. And now he begins to be with, let's not make it whoredom, a crackhead. Like Pookie off New Jack City. Your man is now hanging with Pookie off New Jack City. Is that something that you want? That's not something that you don't. Why? He's going to turn your man into a crackhead. Yes, he will. It's going to be to the point to where you're not going to have savor. You're not going to have flavor with him no more. You're not going to like him anymore. It's going to change him. That's how it is in the body of Christ. People generally care for you and care about you, but when you become a bad influence and you will not stop, sooner or later, the Most High is going to have something done to where those things are going to be severed off. That's not for you to take personal. That's a spiritual thing. The same way you don't want your husband hanging out with them drunks and those dope boys, getting high and stuff like that. The same way the Most High doesn't want his children hanging with you if that's what you're gonna do. When people treat you like that, then you're gonna be feeling like, yo, don't nobody care about me, don't nobody love me. When they tried to care for you, when they tried to love you, you wouldn't have it. You had other things that you wanted to do. You had to sow to the flesh. Now you have to reap and eat the leaves of the things that you sowed. So you lose love. You'll lose love. The love of everything. This family, the love of God. Yeah. There's times when you pray and the Most High won't let you down. Sometimes the Most High be waiting to right at the last minute when something could like fail and stuff, and then he'll come through. That's him showing you that he's a deliverer. So you'll lose love, you'll lose joy. Remember the good times? It won't be no joy in your life. There are people who don't have joy in their life. They are very frustrated and vexed, anguish of heart. Their mind is always angry. And when you talk to them, that's the response that you get. They're always bitter. You're going to lose this fruit here. Peace, you're going to have no peace. People will be at odds with you. You'll be at work catching heel. You will just everywhere will be difficult. You won't have peace. Your communication will be bad. You'll lose the ability to be long-suffering. You will lack patience and know that you lack patience. You'll be going off on people, railing on them, cussing them out, and then be like, I was wrong for that. It's simple and easy for you to be like, you wrong for that, but guess what? The other person was offended. They're offended by it. This is the fruit that you lose. Stuff where you need to be patient, it won't be there. Because sometimes patience helps us. Gentleness, you want to be kind, but you can't now. You think about when you was a good person, but you can't be that good person no more because the Most High took that ability for you to be that. He took that attribute from you. That's his attribute. That's not the attribute of the devil. Goodness ain't nothing good. You always scheming. You always selfish. If you don't get nothing out of it, you ain't even interested. It don't even concern you. And you don't believe. This is the stuff that you lose when you give place to that mindset. Meekness, what is meekness? It's obedience. It's an obedience. You ain't obedient to nothing. You don't got to obey nobody but you. You lose that. Temperance, lack of self-control. Sad part about it is this probably describes a bunch of people right now. You're like, dang, I don't like what I'm going through. See? Did I lose my fruit? Yeah, you lost it. Let's go back. So this is Ecclesiastes chapter 6. In verse 3, thou shalt eat up thy leaves and lose thy fruit. We don't want that to happen. Are we seeing this? Nobody wants to lose the fruit of the Spirit. Because the fruit of the Spirit, you know what that thing is? That makes us special, set apart, a peculiar people. This shows the difference between the Most High's people and regular people. You are not supposed to be a regular person. You're supposed to be a superwoman. You're supposed to be very strong. Make a muscle, Jake. Come on, make a muscle. Boom. You're supposed to be strong. You're supposed to be a superwoman, supermen, very special men, very strong, spirited. You're supposed to be able to feel like you can do anything. When you're dealing with Christ, you're supposed to be like, I can do all things. It ain't nothing that I can't do. All you supposed to do, your spirit, the spirit of the Most High inside you is feeding your mind, telling you, I can do anything. And you're supposed to believe it. That's the difference between the spirit of the Most High and the spirit, these bad spirits right here. That's the difference right there. See, now the last part says, check this out. And leave thyself as a dry tree. People don't believe that. What does a dry tree look like? It looked dead, brown, dry, no greenery at all. It's dead. The scriptures say you're going to look like you dead, man. You're going to look like that tree. I got a property that's got some dead trees on it. Them things, they ain't growing nothing green. They dead. Still standing 12, 15 feet tall, dead. The scriptures say that's how you look. And we don't understand it. Now take that dead tree. Let's try and make it look live. What we're gonna do? We're gonna take some fake green stuff and throw on it. You know, like they do during the Christmas stuff. They throw the fake snow on there or something. What can we do to make this drink? Put some lights on it or something. The tree's still dead. It still look dead. If you can put lights around it. Not Christmas, but I'm just saying, you just take some lights and you deck your yard up and stuff. Yeah, yo, man, why you got this stuff on that dead tree, bro? Get you another tree, right? That's how we do. We put clothes on. Brother put the clothes on. He got the waterfall going. Bro, don't you know how bad you looking for real, man? You still a bad dude. All that stuff you be doing. Yeah. So it's so important that we change as people so we're not looking like a dead tree. We thought that the clothes, people can't see us. Our dead works. They see. Sisters think that people can't see because of what? That Maybelline name brand. They spend some money on that makeup and get that cheap stuff that ain't got the color in it. Now they put some paper on it. Paper, they got the right stuff. It's got the right blend to it and everything. Dead tree. Dead tree. Dead tree with lights on it. One of them had, which one had a dead tree? Charlie Brown? Charlie Brown had a dead tree, y'all. He drug it around with him in a wagon. You don't want to leave yourself like that. Now, this goes with it. Verse 4. Here's our point. A wicked soul. Now, this is the demon that's inside of the person shall destroy him that have it. So if you leave the wicked soul, if you leave the wicked demon that inside of you, it's going to destroy you. You got to get that thing up out of you. Two people got to hear this. Pay attention. Two people got to hear this. The person with it and the person that's trying to help the person with it. You got to acknowledge that I have a wicked soul. I got a spirit on me. I got a demon on me. If you don't want to acknowledge it and you in denial, guess what? That thing gonna remain. It's gonna stay there with you. It wants to stay there. It do not want to leave you. It loves you. Because it gets to habitate and thrive in an environment that's acceptable. Instead of always facing what? Eviction. If you get on somebody, because it can be evicted, if it hops on a righteous brother or a righteous sister for a minute, that person got to realize that something ain't right with them. They're going to be like, oh man, I got to do something about this. Now they praying and fasting and studying and taking correction. The thing on the inside, like, dang man, I'm finna go. I'm going to have to go. I'm going to have to go. Right? And then once that person really start going through the process of ignoring it and resisting it and getting away from other spirits like that, the one that's inside is commanded by the Most High. You're resisting it. It's commanded to come out of you, to leave. Yeah, it's commanded to leave. But the one person has got to they got to accept that they got this problem. And then you see the problem. So now y'all got to do something simultaneously together to try and work that thing out so that they can see, process, and understand that, this thing got to go. They got to want that to happen. That's when you start using the scriptures, letting them know. Like these precepts right here, shoot, man, who wants to be destroyed? Torn to pieces and all this, that, and the third, and lose the fruit of the spirit and have to suffer the consequences from all the behavior that they have. Say, for instance, it's a woman, and it's a wicked woman. The woman destroys the house she's left alone. And she inherits what? The wind. Now she don't have nothing. When before she had a man, she had help. Now she's by herself. What if it's a man? And he allowed that spirit to have him to inherit what? Nothing, the wind. So it doesn't matter. People got to acknowledge it and they have to forsake it. And you have to, while you going through that, you have to have that spirit of long suffering and patience to actually teach these people what they're going through, what they're doing. This is what you're dealing with. I'm just here to show you what you're dealing with without taking it personal. Because a conversation and the edification of the scriptures is enough to get through. It should be enough to get through them for them to see. Right? You cannot put yourself in place of the word. Remember, we went over that on Thursday with Uzziah, right? Made Uzziah the word. And he was quick. Got in there, right? Mm-hmm. Tore his little situation up. You can't do that. Everybody remember that? That's what we can't do. You cannot do that. That's why you got to simply speak the word and let the word process, let the process of the word, let the word get in there and do that. Sometimes we do press with a little thrust and emphasize and this, that, and the third. That happens. You got to notice that and you got to retreat. And you have to be apologetic when you're treating somebody like that, even though they're in the wrong. You got to be like, I'm sorry, my bad. It's not about me. And now let me regroup. And now let me get in here and now let me show you. Don't stop showing them. But, everybody understand? I want to approach that. What was that, Uzziah? Hebrews? Nah. Hebrews 4 and 12. Right.
Yeah, 4 and 12. My bad. I'm looking at it too. 4 and 12. Right.
We cannot substitute ourselves for the word. Pick somebody else. Who? Obama?
Not that I got to deal with it, but I like to think about it.
He said Judah. He said Judah. Judah. And we'll use a bunion. For a bunion is quick and powerful. Sharper than two. We can't be like that. Because we do it with anger and wrath. Person knows when you respond quickly. They know that. Because when we respond quickly, we lack in humility. We lack an ability to be slow to speak and swift to hear, slow to wrath and anger. We lack in the charitable spirit of long suffering and patience. Because they're already emotional, they got a lot to say, they want to be heard. They don't, a lot of times they want to be heard right or what?
Wrong.
Oh, okay. The single guys responded, but the married guys, they didn't say. You said it, Marisha. He said wrong. Okay. No, that's letting her know that. Guess what? James got it right. They want to be heard whether they right or wrong, without being interrupted. Women are like that. They be gabbing, meow. We like, wait, especially I'm like, wait a minute, this part wrong. Wait, I'm talking. I can't let you talk. You're wrong. But the woman is like, let me talk anyway. I let you talk and you was wrong. I was like, when was I wrong? I'm fighting an uphill battle, man. See, being what? Quick. We can't be quick. In other words, the word quickly does something. This is the only thing that can get away with being quick. Men can't be quick. Woman, you can't be quick. Answering before you heard it, interrupting people in the midst of their speech, lacking patience because you quick, I'm ready to rebuttal, I'm ready to respond. You can't be like that. Not understanding, not listening. We all have got to be subject to each other. We got to be quiet. We can't be powerful. It's known a man being a lion. We can't be a lion. Now, I don't expect you to be a little pussycat. No. Meow. No. The most I don't expect you to be like that. He expects you to be grave. And what does grave mean, Jabril? Courageous. No. Grave means serious. He expects you to be serious. The woman expects you to be serious too. Because if you're serious, that means you're going to deal with what attribute? The attribute of being what? I said it in camp. Possessing equity. Fairness. You can be serious all day. She just wants you to be fair. You can say what you mean and mean what you say, She don't expect for you to be powerful like you. I'm a lion, like you yelling. You're abrasive. You sarcastic. You can be grave all day. You can be serious all day. Just be fair. Be fair. Both sides of the story is heard. Patience, the same. Everything that you asking for, she expect you to give it. We is not the Most High. And sisters is tired of us trying to be the Most High. Be a man and be an example of what you expect them to do. Even though you're not a woman. You don't have to play a feminine version. You have to be an example of the scripture so that they can see and they can follow. So, overpowering? No. Sharper? I'm going to cut. The scripture's going to do it by itself. I'm going to cut you. See, you are wicked. That's why I was telling you that wickedness. That wickedness. Women, y'all tired of getting called wicked. That wickedness. You're the wickedness. You're a double. A wicked demon. That's a straight wicked. No, man, we can't cut them like that. That's your woman, brother. And you hurt, that would hurt more than any sword. Right? The words breaketh the bones. Cannot break her bones. Even though she don't listen or take the correction. She got a problem. Don't make it your problem. Say what you got to say. Teach the scriptures and go sit down. That's what I do all day. Teach the scriptures and go sit down. Now I'm gonna take the scriptures and I'll be teaching all day. It don't matter to me. I'll cancel everything that I had. Yeah, I was finna watch a show. I was finna kick back and I was finna make it run. That's it. I ain't finna do nothing but talk about what's right. These scriptures. I'm gonna cancel everything, and I ain't finna fight, fuss, yell, scream. You ain't gonna be wicked, man, unless you just keep doing some wicked stuff. But we can't do it, so I'm gonna leave it at that. We cannot inject ourselves to play this role in Hebrews 4 and 12 when that's what the scripture's supposed to do. So how do you deal with somebody that don't want to listen to correction according to scriptures? You deal with them anyway, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear. Tell them what you need to tell them and then go chill. It's good also to tell them that you don't like that they don't do that. I don't like it that you don't hear the scriptures. That's good for you to say I don't like when you don't hear the scriptures. It's good for you to say I don't like that when you don't listen. You don't apply the scriptures, you're not in subjection. The scriptures say this. But then every man's supposed to know the role of a woman, and every woman's supposed to know the role of a man. So if you're a woman, you're supposed to know how this man's supposed to deal with you. You're supposed to know that. So if he's giving you a bad deal, you're supposed to be like, yo, you're giving me a bad deal. I don't like that. Yelling at me, please, don't yell at me. And when he's doing it, you don't get mad and retaliate. You just be like, please, lower your voice, don't raise. I don't like it when you talk to me like that. Some of us, we get drawn out of the spirit because remember, I tell you that those spirits be entering into people. They will bounce back and forth. It tells you that in Ephesians 6, or Galatians 6 and 1. It tells you that you could be tempted. That spirit will enter into you. So when you catch them not listening, you should know what to do. Apply charity, seek counsel, talk to them the right way. We'll get this, and I want to move on to the book of James, chapter 3.
What scripture is that where you say what they heard for birth?
Ezekiel 2 and 5. Ezekiel 2 and 5.
Appreciate it.
Yes, whether they will hear it, whether they will forbear. If they want to hear it or if they don't want to hear it, you're supposed to speak it to them anyway. Don't scream it at them and yell it to them. You know how people don't want to hear it? Tell them anyway. Tell them politely though. And I know it is hard because we tell sometimes one another the same things over and over and over. So that makes it hard. But it's something that still got to do. You got to learn that it takes time for people to grow. And it's not weeks. You got to start getting tricked. You got to start getting tricked that the correction is going to last for a lifetime. Or that they said, I'm going to do it this week, and you expect it to last for how long? A lifetime. And then they disassemble, they fall apart next week. And now you let down to where you healed up. You messed up over this thing. You know, heal is my word instead of a curse word, right? So everybody, y'all remember that when I say heal, you got to find out, well, what cuss word goes there? I'm using the word heal, H-I-L-L. For some crazy, we just healed it. So you all healed up over the fact that over the fact that they did it again, and you cannot just believe it. You're like, what the hell is this? What is this? No, you doing it again, and now you feeling some kind of way, and they feeling some type of way because the spirit on them already there. Now you feeling some type of way, and both of y'all like, forget it. Okay, well, and forget it. It's over. Well, whatever. It's been over. Nigga, you wasn't ready. Heal, you wasn't ready. You went down. I knew it. See, nigga, yeah, heal you. And you know, I knew you wasn't gonna do it. I knew you wasn't right. You know, it's like mad chaos. Like, well, wait a minute. How did we get this bad? How did it go on? It was never going. Yes, they were trying. They were trying. You not understanding, you expected too much. You expect too much. You expected too much. I'm sorry. Bring it on down some. And just go day by day. Today we're working this out. Today we got through today. Tomorrow we're working it out, and do your best to help that person and help yourself make it through tomorrow. But you keep expecting that to cover a lifetime. It doesn't cover a lifetime. It only covers the moment that they see. Because God is about, what have you done for me lately? So every day, every man, woman, or child has got to fight the good fight every day. It says, take no thought for tomorrow. Tomorrow should take thought of itself. There's enough evil that's sufficient for today. And it's going to come right back tomorrow. Challenges, tests, trials. You're going to be tempted in tests tomorrow. So we understand it. We are putting too much. Too higher expectations. Because we're getting disappointed and let down. You can solve that. Don't think evil of them. Just be patient and, long suffering and just day by day. Now, we wanted James 3. And 17, getting to the point, the wisdom that is from above is first pure. Verse 13, who is wise and endued with knowledge? So that's James 3 and 13. Who is wise and straight up strong with the knowledge of the Bible? That's what James 3 and 13, the first precept, that question is asked. Let him or them or her shew out of a good conversation. So you got to be able to have a conversation. His works is right there. You got to be able to show that you are very strong with the works that you do when you're faced in the worst situation. Not just a good situation, when people agree with you, they understand, they see they fought, they're apologetic. No, not just then. That's easy right there. But in the face of a storm, you got to be able to show work with meekness of wisdom. I'm serious. Seriousness that denotes that you are devoted and committed to doing the right thing. And the priority, what is the priority? The priority is to restore that person. The priority is to edify that person. The priority is not a selfish priority or will, like, I got to make sure I'm good. See, I'm here to tell you so that I can make sure I'm good because you owe me an apology. No. You got it all wrong. You are emotional. And this is not going to work. You ever had somebody correct you out of their feelings? You know what it feel like? It feel like ain't nothing get solved or nothing got resolved. Because they talking at you, they talking to you, they offended you, they dealing with you in a way that you don't appreciate, in a way that you don't like. Are they really trying to help? Yes, you are wrong. We got to stop being stubborn, because sometimes, not making excuses for either party, but sometimes people will get overzealous because you're wrong. They're trying to show it to you. Start humbling yourself. If you're wrong, be like, okay, I'm wrong. Listen, if I'm wrong, I want to know that I'm wrong. I want to see that I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I don't mind being wrong. I don't mind you showing me that I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, then I'm not finna try and hide it and cover it up so that I can be right. That is wicked right there. Who wants to be wicked? Wickedness just proves that you got a spirit on you. And let me say this. A lot of times people be feeling like when they are wrong, that's proof that I got the devil on me, so I don't want to be wrong. So I'm going to ignore the wrong because I don't want to. I'm not trying to really be an acceptance of a devil. No, that's not true. Yes. That's not true. When you are wrong, you accept that you are wrong, and then you keep it moving. Right up front. You accept that you are wrong, and then you keep it moving. All right. James chapter 3 and verse 13. So, listen, pay attention and stay with me. Because I do understand that many people will be wrong, James.
I don't know the Bible like that.
New Testament. Many people will be wrong, and being wrong, They try and lie. They try and lie so that they can not acknowledge or expose that something is wrong. I got a double based upon what y'all say, or based upon what the scriptures say, that I have a double. Sweetie, bruh, children, family, it ain't like that. We're not looking for you. We don't want you to be the double. You know what I had to tell my wife? I got to tell this part. We talk all the time. I said, do you think that I want to kiss in the face a demon? Look, think about who you talking to. I've been in this position for a very long time. I ain't never been a bootleg struggler. Out here wicked in the like a lot of Hebrews, and forgive me because I'm not trying to say, oh, I'm how much better. This is a fight I was devoted to fighting when she married me. I'm still fighting a really good fight. So I know how to deal. She never had a spiritually young man. So I had to say this to say, I don't look at you and see a demon. So for me to tell you that you're wrong, I don't glory in saying, baby, was you wrong? Now I'm trying to make sure that you are the devil. Do I want to look? I'm not going to kiss a demon. So when we try to tell you that, yo, this is wrong, you can accept the wrong without you thinking that we're trying to tell you that you're a devil, Stacy. That's not what he's trying to say. He's just trying to say you're wrong. But if you straight up thinking that the man is calling you the devil, how you gonna? You ain't finna own up to wrong, because wrong is the admittance of a devil, and I ain't that. That's how you might feel, despite how you think. So now he will be struggling with trying to show you that you're wrong, and you trying to struggle with not being wrong, even though you know you're wrong because you're not trying to be a devil. Well, he's not trying to call you a devil. He's just trying to say that you're wrong. So you got to be able to accept that so that y'all can go on. And then you're not fighting all night or disagreeing all day and carrying it on from day to day to day. That's not how you do it. I had to say that. So James 3, we got to be serious. The latter part of 3 and 13, we got to have a conversation. And we got to display meekness in our conversation with each other. But it says of wisdom. So we got to come out the wisdom of the scriptures, everything that we've learned, and then speak and talk about it in our conversation on how serious we is on, I don't like for you to do that. I don't like for you to do this. And not make it personal. Verse 14, if you have bitter envy and strife in your mind, that's the heart, there's nothing for you to be there's nothing for you to glory about. And not lie, not against the truth. What is a lie against the truth? That I'm in the spirit, that I'm doing this right. Don't even deceive yourself into thinking that you're doing this right when you arguing back and forth with each other. That's not righteous. I'm talking to my couples. That's not righteous right there. At any time when it begins to go back and forth, you have to bring out, this is strife right here. In the middle of nowhere, I'm going to call a flag. Just like the referee. The play is going on, and everybody is in motion. Boop, he blow the whistle, and he throws a flag. You're like, wait a minute, man. Like, wait, who did something wrong? Where's the flag? And then he try to tell you, oh, this person committed this fight. You're like, wait, even though we're not doing sports, but I'm giving you an example of how this strife is called. Strife will be called in the midst of the situation. I had to call it last night with a young girl. And she's going back and forth on the post back like, boom, I blew the whistle, sister. This is strife between me and you. You are not to go back and forth with me. I'm not trying to stay toe to toe, but I was only trying to answer certain questions, but this is not how we as servants of the Lord are supposed to be. All right, I'm out. You can have it. You can, at this point, do whatever you want to do. I'm done. You cannot keep going. You cannot strive with each other. Keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Sisters not supposed to do that. There's a right way, and two brothers are not supposed to do that. Go back and forth, back and forth. There is a right, there is a wrong. Find it as quickly as possible. The person that's out of the spirit, be quiet. You should know when you're out of the spirit. Know you're not yourselves. If you're agitated, if you're angry, just be quiet. Let the other person talk. They're going to restore the situation. Trust him. He is not trying to call you what? He's not trying to call you a devil because he said that you're wrong, man. You think he wants to walk around with Satan and say, come on, let's go to the store. You see? What is that? Well, nobody calls up Satan and say, let's go to the store, man. Let's go have a drink, brother. Satan, what you doing? I'm just calling you. We don't do each other like that, so stop thinking that we're calling you the devil because we have to tell you that you're wrong at something. This wisdom descended not from above, but is earthly, sensual, devilish. To behave like that is of the devil. For where envy and strife is, there is confusion in every evil work. Verse 17. This is going to conclude that first question. I know it was kind of long and winded, but this is what you got to do. But the wisdom that is from above is first pure. The Most High doesn't care what the person does. What do you supposed to do? You supposed, according to James 3:13, be a wise person and do, meaning strengthen with knowledge, the knowledge of the Bible. You got to show out of a good work. You got to have a good conversation, and you got to be serious with the wisdom. That's James 3:13. James 3:17. You have to have a good intention, pure. You can't be trying to cut somebody. You can't be trying to correct them for your own self-edification, for your pleasure. You got to want to help them to the saving of their soul. It's got to be pure. Then peaceable. Now, you know when somebody come in peace, right? Right. So you got to present the conversation peaceable. And you got to keep directing it like a car that needs a wheel alignment. I'm trying to keep this thing straight. You got to stir that thing back onto the path. Peace. Peace. Even though it's trying to go to the side. Peace. Oh, peace, brothers. I know I'm meaning peace. Even if you have to appear to be apologetic. No, I'm sorry. I don't mean no harm. This is out of love, brother. No, it's not like that. Don't take it like that. Some of you be feeling like, I ain't finna do all of that. I bet you do it when you need to borrow $200. You'll be speaking very softly. No, Loxy. Oh, you know what, man? The way that it happens, my check was funny, and they didn't put my hours on there. This is doing this thing. They didn't put the hours on there, man. And this is, but hey, man, I'm gonna get that to you, man. Yeah, ain't no thing, man. Me and you, man, we tight like that, man. Man, we're tight like that, man. You gonna be like, we tight with like that. I remember what you gonna do, get it, man. but to go over and beyond, to keep stir that thing back on peace, you're giving it to them dry. Man, you gotta keep it. Remember, this is a conversation that's talking about strife and all that in the face of the storm and chaotic and all of that. You got to have self-control. You got to have self-control. This ain't just for me to do. This is for you to do. This is for all of us to do. All of us got to have that type of self-control, not just me. Man, I don't want to say I'm failing you, but I'm feeling not successful. If you brothers and sisters that are learning under me, if you can't look into a face of a hostile situation and keep that thing peaceable, you have to be able to do that. That's showing the fruit of the spirit, man. That's showing that this thing is working on you. Gentle, you got to remain gentle, even though it's hostile. They're hostile. Like I had to tell brother, I said, man, I got people screaming in my face like, ah! Like, oh, why are you screaming? Brother, now if you gonna kill me, man, who gonna take out my daughter? Man, you don't want to kill me, brother. Come on now. That's going a little bit too far, don't you think? Like, why you being nice? You need to know some nice people. You gotta use psychology on these people, man. These people they got walking disabilities. You hear me? If you just take them out and boom, you lose. You don't show no strength at all. That's easy to do. This is the challenge. To do this. This is where it's at. You gotta be endued. You gotta build your spirit up to be like this. This is how Yahushua was, man. His spirit inside of you can do all things. But first you gotta keep telling yourself you could do this. Then you gotta be with other people that's doing it, that's redirecting you. When you getting off course like that, broken will alignment, they're gonna pull you back on the lane. No, brother, get in line. Be like, all right. Easy to be entreated. Make it so that they can receive it. Make it so that they can receive it. Have your conversation so that they can receive it. And we as men, as married men, don't be proud. Don't be too proud to beg. Baby, please, let's get this right. Let's do this. Don't be like that. You understand? Don't be so too proud to where you got to be a man. You're gonna do it or not. You don't do it, that's it. It's over then. Make a choice. Hit the door. Like, huh? See, what we forgetting is what? What are we forgetting about a situation like that? I'm sorry, I'm asking y'all to pick my mind, but we talked about it in class about 45, 50 minutes ago. We're forgetting that our person, I'll give you a hint, they dealing with what? The spirit. They dealing with the spirit. And that spirit gonna have them to cash a bad check. You know what the bad check is? To listen to you say that you don't care and to hit that door. That spirit talking to them. See, this nigga don't care for real. See, he got another heel. See? Remember, heel is a cuss word, right? He got another heel. He don't care about you. See? See? The spirit is going to be talking to her in her head. And you as a dum-dum, you see, you wasn't soft enough to be like, baby, let me really say, me and you, we good. Girl, I love you. Don't do that. Don't do this. Is not what you're supposed to do. Oh, the married guys, what's up? Y'all gotta get some game, man.
I ain't gonna lie, when you said that, Stacy did. Don't like that.
You better be like, you get over her and be like, baby. Get over here and be like, baby. Yeah, I mean, you got to. When I have to, I'll be like, I love you. Why you like that? Don't come on now. Let's not do that. Come on, man. What's up with y'all youngers, man? That's why all these young girls out on the street, man. After they, somebody broke their heart and they still running. You got to start caring for real, man. This stuff is for real. Right, go home, but baby, listen. Let's work this out. Man, I love you. Well, I'm like, oh, you sure that's gonna work, brother? It's gonna work. It's gonna work because you're trying to fight against another mentality that they have upstairs. You gotta. That's what you gotta be. She already in. You got to convince her to see you in a different light. So you got to make the stuff that you're saying easy to be entreated, easy to be accepted. All right, you got it? He got it. You got it. No, all you got to do is do it. Right? Wait a minute. Full of mercy. So they're going to be like, oh, he's showing mercy. He's not mean. He's not being mean because, brothers, we could be mean, man. You don't want to be mean. They see that all the time. They see that all the time. I'm like you mean. Like, I'm not mean. But you did. Yeah. See what I'm saying? So we got to have a balance because I'm not trying to be mean. I'm trying to be serious. So I have to, because if I keep saying I'm not, she keeps saying you are. So I'm like, all right, now let me start listening because we have to listen. How many married brothers out there miss listening? They're telling you certain things about yourself. You know, you listening, they're calling you stubborn. They calling you mean. They calling you that you're not doing what you say. How many of us are listening to what they saying? Stop thinking that they trying to say that you are a devil. And just understand that they trying to say that you are wrong. See, it's good for them. It got to be good for us too. She's not trying to say that you're a devil, Judah. She's trying to say you're wrong sometimes. So when you can see that you're wrong sometime, then you can listen to how to make it right. And the devil is not even in play. Let's not bring the devil in play because we will be at fault. We will make mistakes. The devil is going to continue in that sin. We're trying to show one another how to stop walking in these sins, but we got to listen to each other. If we don't listen to each other, we listening to somebody and we're listening to the spirit in our mind. And not the spirit of God, but the other spirit in our mind. That's why you cannot trust in your own heart. The Bible says that's foolish to do that. All right? Now, and good fruits without partiality. That's going back and forth in your mind. Good, bad, good behavior, bad behavior. No brother or sister should have good behavior, bad behavior. And without what? Hypocrisy. Same thing. Can't be a hypocrite. You got to stand 10 toes down on what you know is right, what the truth says is right. Once you get taught the truth, you got to stand in on it. The fruit of righteousness is sown in them that make peace. So in other words, the Most High is going to give you peace. He's going to give you righteousness when you are a peacemaker in your situation. When you are a peacemaker in your situation. Learn how to make peace. Everybody clear? So I said, what does it mean to have a meek, a quiet, and a meek spirit? So let's go to 1 Peter 3.
That's 1 Peter 3.
1 Peter chapter 3. So actually the answer to this is in these precepts. So 1 Peter 3, the question comes from the 4th verse, but the answer is going to begin to start skip that. The answer is going to start in the first verse. It says, likewise, you wives, be in subjection unto your own husbands. Now, remember, meek. Meek is a word that describes obedient. Okay? Let's Numbers 12 and 3. So get that. Okay. Numbers chapter 12 and 3. Now the man Moses was very meek, above all the men which were upon the face of the earth. Now I'm going to have this person try and understand using the scriptures about the meekness of the man Moses and Christ. Now let's hear about Christ. Matthew 11:29. Matthew 11 and 29. Okay, Matthew 11:29 says, take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek. So now here it is where Christ okay. Take my yoke, Matthew 11:29. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek. So once you learn about Christ, you are going to learn what meekness is. All right. So a few things pertaining to Christ. John 15. And verse 10. Book of St. John, chapter 15. And verse 10. It says, if you keep my commandments, so to learn of me is to keep the things that Christ taught us, ye shall abide in my love. Here it is about Christ. Even as I have kept my Father's commandments. So now, keeping the Father's commandments. Now, here's the definition of what meek is. It says meek, quiet, gentle, and easily imposed on, submissive. Some of the words are similar that helps describe meek, because this would have to be a question that comes from the woman, where it says, what does it mean to have a quiet and meek spirit? So the quiet part is not being loud and clamorous, not being double-tongued and talking back. You're not making no noise. You're not ruffling no feathers, no waters. You're not causing an intimidating situation or friction between the conversation. Remember, like James 3 says, and do with meekness having a conversation. So in the conversation, you're not sparking a conversation that's ruffling feathers, that's just gonna make the man lift up and bring forth his authority figure over you. It don't come from you. So you're quiet. And some sisters don't like to be quiet and shut up. Some of you will make a bait. Some of you will pick a fight. You can't be like that. So now meekness, patience, long suffering, those are charity. Resigned, that means I'm quitting. I'm quitting. I'm going to quit this. There's something going on. Okay, I quit. I give up. Peaceful, mild. These are things yielding. I'm going to yield myself unto you. Oh, you as a woman, are you yielding yourself unto the man, or are you implacable because of the anger in your spirit, the vexation in your mind? You can't, as a woman, you can't be like that, unpleasable. It's not pleasant. The conversation, the atmosphere, the relationship, the dialect. You're going to get called things like crazy, and you don't like that. Obedient. Let's get up to the meat that's on the bone. Easily imposed on. That means he should be able to come into your way and into your life and impose something. Put something there that wasn't there already. Yeah. Or you like that. He coming to you at an awkward time. What about the time period you don't want to be bothered with? And I'm not talking about physically, I'm talking about spiritually. To have a conversation. You got to catch you in the right. I find myself telling certain, let's catch her at the right time. Knowing because this woman is like a struggling woman, or she's not always in a good mood. So catch her at the right time and have a conversation. When somebody's supposed to be able to catch you at any time and have a conversation. Catch her at the right time, brother. Then have the conversation. You got to weigh it in the balance. You're not easily imposed on. Because if somebody imposing on you, they coming at a time that's not convenient for you. That's supposed to be an easy thing. Oh, no problem. What's up? Now y'all having a conversation. And sometimes the conversation will be telling you that you're wrong. You don't expect to be told you're wrong. Now you having a conversation telling me I'm wrong? Well, yeah, I had to try and find a good time to talk to you about something that it was worried, it was bothering me. Well, now ain't the time. When is the time? That's not meekness right there. A man should be able to come to you at any time. And as long as he in the spirit and he's trying to bring peace and sow peace with you, that should be acceptable, not unacceptable. So what is it? What is it to have a quiet spirit? You ain't fighting, nor clamorous, nor double tongue, nor murmuring. And meekness, you approachable. He could talk to you without an appointment. You imposed on. And you're going to deal with the situation so that you can make things right. You're trying to build your house, not tear it down. And you're going to resolve that problem because this person is saying that they have an issue. This is right. And everything else is wrong. That's the spirit that's in spiritual women. Now, today is the day, and we learn today, and we try and apply tomorrow or the first time it comes up. But that's why you cannot just learn once a week or once every month, once a month, or once every 6 months. And neither can you just be a good listener, but not a doer. You gotta be on this the same way that this job is teaching you the ins and the outs. People be having ambitions. Oh, I'm gonna go through all the positions in the job. What about all the precepts in the Bible? I'm gonna go through all the positions in the job. I'm gonna get a promotion. You're gonna learn this whole spectrum of how to do a job. What about how to walk in the spirit? What about that? That's important too. So the same way that you spend time on these jobs, you got to spend time in the fellowship, in the book, in the fellowship, literally like what you're doing here, doing things like we do all this stuff together. Y'all supposed to rub off on each other. And that's why if somebody is doing something wrong, you have to say something because your actions is actually teaching another brother. Sister, your actions is teaching another sister. We need sisters to teach sisters to be strong, to be righteous. Teach brothers to be strong, to be righteous. This fellowship is your strength. This is the bloodline. This is the pulse to the new Jerusalem, the new Israel. We're a kingdom before we are placed. So we know how to do it. Everywhere we go, we dwell together. Everywhere we go, we deal. We have a fabulous time. Just imagine adding all the assemblies of the Most High in Christ spiritually together. We unstoppable. Then the Most High give us things that we don't know and understand on how to run the planet. We ain't ran no planet. Just imagine he give us that. Give us the power and give us the spiritual defense to defend ourselves physically and not just spiritually. We're unstoppable. But this comes first. That's why it's so important that these little stuff, well, not little, but these things that we have to deal with, being approachable. It's the same thing. We have to be like that, sisters. So you talk about being meek, we got to be meek too. Christ said, when he said, learn of me, for I am meek, that's a man. He's telling us to learn so we can teach that. When Moses was the meekest man on face of the earth, anybody could approach him. God, the Most High, saw that and set him up because of that. The Most High going to set those people up who are actually trying to go after his heart and deal right. Like he chose David. He was a goat herder, a shepherd of sheep. He said, I got the perfect job for you. You think that just came? No. That was in him. That was something that was in him. You got to choose what's in you. It's going to be poison or it's going to be blood. If it's blood, that means you're gonna have care for your people. You're gonna have a heart of flesh. If it's poison, that means it's toxic. And you don't want to be toxic. Not as a woman. You want to be quiet and you want to be meek. You got to be approachable to where somebody can come to you and they can work things out. And submissive, imposed on and submissive. I am going to submit myself. I'm going to do what you say. As a woman, you got to be willing to do what the man is saying. And if you don't want to do what a man is saying, please stand up and keep your legs closed. Because a man, we expect the woman to do exactly what we say. At times, I find myself, if I say something to my wife, and then she'll ask me, well, what do you want done or how you want it done? Sometimes I won't even repeat it. I've already said it. And then I have to correct myself because that will cause an issue. Then I'll go ahead and say it again. I didn't change my mind from the last time I said it. You might want me to change my mind. You might want to do something different than what I said. Submit to what I said. I've already said it. Remember, she said, I can be mean. I won't be trying to be mean. I be trying to do this. I know what this is. I ain't never been a fool in this. And I don't have a problem with it. I understand very clear. What's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. To the 10th power. I really don't mean anything. Therefore, when I'm right, I'm full steam ahead on what's right. But you got to be submissive. If you do not want a man to tell you what to do, how to do it, when to do it, how long to do it, how long not to do it, why not to do it, you is not ready. And a bunch of young women in your youth, you are not ready because you ain't dealing with boys that's coming up. You dealing with straight soldiers. You dealing with straight men that's ready to rule and be the boss. And you the first person he finna boss. You the first person he finna boss around. And you don't think of it like that. You think of it like, yo, we finna go to the movies. We finna go out to eat. When you get home, he got a bunch of stuff. Do this, don't do that. 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 Can you go here? Did y'all know that? You should be asking, can I go here? I'm finna go there. I'm going here. I'm going to see my mama. I'm going to the store. Did y'all know that? I'm finna go to this. You finna go to the store. You got to tell somebody. Tell him. What if he say, nah, just wait till later? You gonna go anyway? Did you know that, Oxen? You know? Okay. We say wait till later. What if you mad? You still gotta wait. You can't be like, well, I'm hitting the door anyway. You gonna go out there and you gonna flip that car the most. That angel gonna be like, boop! It could. Boop! Boom! You upside down. You calling it from you calling them from upside down. Yeah. I had a car accident. Dang, baby, what happened? Now he can't be like that's what you get. He can't be like that's what you get. You gotta be like, well, where you at? So you can't do that. And listen, as funny as y'all think it is, I preach the same thing at home. No, baby, that's not what you want to do. Do not leave up out this house. You go outside. You ain't get in a car accident. You be calling home upside down. You gonna get out there and then she be scared. Oh, he said that. Why you gotta say that? Because we not supposed to be mad and angry. Now, come on, you know I love you. Come on now, sit down. Real low back. Come on, sit down and be submissive. Sit down and listen. You don't want to listen now, huh? You mad, huh? Y'all got to be ready for that. You got to be submissive, man. Cook when you don't want to cook. A lot of sisters, you get lazy. Clean when you don't want to clean. Now, I ain't finna tell no man to be no chump. If you ain't cooking and cleaning, if you ain't cooking and cleaning, talking about you tired, you gonna have to be cooking and cleaning, yawning. You gotta keep that house clean and cook that. Keep the stove warm. They like it when I had y'all begging. They like, yeah, Sam, that's right. Tell them to come on in there and baby me. It's a two-way street. It's a two-way street. Look at him, on me. You're like, on me. No, it's a two-way street. So y'all, people's got to work together. This make a relationship, man. You know, guess what? If everybody play their part, it'd be good. If everybody play their part. You gotta learn how to take your emotions. And I know that's hard. How to take your emotions out of that. The emotion of anger and frustration. So, 1 Peter 3 and 1, wives, be in subjection to your husbands. See, that's the submissive part right there. That if any obey not the word, the any is anybody. None followers of Christ. You can tell because they not obeying the word. Okay? They not obeying the word. If any obey not the word, they also may without the word be won by the conversation of the wise. A lot of times when you are too young in spirit and heart, they become a snare and an influence to you. That's why, and a lot of things, so young women pay attention. You'll have men telling you what you can do and what you cannot do, trying to guide you and tell you where you can go and where you cannot go. You want me to tell you why? Even us as older men, we do it. Because we know the environment that you go in is going to influence you instead of being won by your conversation. You're not, and you would be thinking, oh, you don't think I'm strong enough not to do what they're doing? Shit, you ain't strong enough, heal. You ain't strong enough not to want to go. You want to go. You don't see the wickedness in there. You want to go. So how are you going to ask, are you strong enough not to do what they want to do? See the difference between a fool and somebody that know better. A fool is going to sit up there and listen to you say, you don't think that I'm strong enough not to do what they're doing? Only a fool want to even go. What fellowship have light with darkness? What could you possibly find entertaining by being in the midst of a bunch of lawless people? You shouldn't find nothing entertaining about that. You should just not even waste your time. You got some stuff around here to do. It's going around here. Now you sad. Now you don't want to talk to them. Not ready. But typically, people are supposed to be won by you. Now, what is the circumstance where you can be around, where you may end up being at work, Not a situation to where I'm finna go and volunteer and I'm finna go to the cookout with them. I'm going to happy hour with these girls at work. Children do this, hanging out. Oh, my children. Oh, I'm gonna hang out with these peoples from school. These are my friends. What? No friends. Friends? Your friend's 40 years old. They in the General Assembly. Your friend 27. Girl 13, Stacy, your friend. Stacy 20-something years old. She twice her age. That's your friend. Who you know to keep the commandments. Not these little reckless girls. They the Snapchat, TikTok, social media with boys. Banned from taking selfies, all that kind of stuff. Sending them to guys. Guess what? The young men being around me, what's it gonna make them? A man. A young woman being around a mature woman, what is it gonna make you? It's gonna make you a woman. See, you could be growing up in your youth. All that other immaturity and youthful lust, the Bible says flee. How do you flee it? By fleeing the youth that's involved in doing it. Do not be afraid or ashamed of this person that's older than me. That's my friend. Don't be afraid or ashamed of that. For that to be your friend, because you got to learn from that person. You're gonna learn the good, the bad. You don't want to learn how to fall into lust, fall into temptation. Think boys are cute, and you don't want to learn that. But back to the point at hand, sisters, when you are in subjection, it teaches you to be an example. That's what the first verse is about. It says, while they behold your chaste conversation coupled with fear. So they see your conversation and they hear that you have a fearful conversation of, I ain't gonna break the commandments of the Most High. Because these things are taught to you by your husband. Your husband's words are the things that's supposed to be running rampant through your mind. And those that don't have husbands, the words of the elders, that's what's supposed to be running through your mind, the stuff that I'm teaching you. If I tell you it's gonna fail, you're supposed to be like, oh, that's gonna fail there. You ain't supposed to let nothing or nobody else tell you nothing different. I become a father figure to you. I have nothing to gain but to see that you have success in your life. So you're supposed to respect that. For the first time you start getting into a realm to where somebody is actually trying to help you, inspire you, and be the wind in yourself, you're supposed to go with that. Yeah, you're supposed to go with that. You're not supposed to run from that. Who's adorning, let it not be the outward appearing of adorning or plaiting the hair and wearing of gold and putting on of what clothes. So you can't make up a dry tree. We talked about that earlier. Let it be the hidden man of the heart, which is that which is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit. So that meek and quiet, we just discussed that. You have to be obedient and shut the heck up. You can't be a fighter. Ecclesiastes chapter, it says, which is in the sight of God a great price. Go to Ecclesiastes chapter 26. Nobody wants a fighter. You tripping with that. Ecclesiastes chapter 26 and 26. Man, Ecclesiastes 26 and 26, the second precept. She that dishonoreth him in her pride. How do you dishonor him? Not caring, showing no respect. Remember, she's supposed to be quiet. She's not quiet. Shall be counted ungodly. Nobody is going to look at you as a God-fearing woman. A loud, see, that's the opposite of quiet. A loud crying woman. That means she's talkative, yelling, screaming, abrasive, argumentative, and a scald, meaning hot. She's hot. You can tell when somebody is hot. You see this type of behavior in the street. You can just be driving down and see somebody. You can see somebody in their car going clean off on who? They baby daddy. She giving him the business. She's going off on him. She's hot. Scald is a word that definition scalding hot. Like her blood is boiling. Spirits on her. Got her mad. Shall be sought out to drive away the enemies. What does that mean? Do you not know there can be some people outside tripping and a woman, there are some fearless women. They will go outside and cuss the whole neighborhood out. And nobody touch them. Nobody touch them. Now I ain't talking about the ones that knucklehead that will go and hit this female. But there are some women, bruh, they will straight up cuss you out and will not hesitate. You use that to drive enemies away. Just imagine having that in the house. You cannot be that. This is the opposite of a quiet. You can't be like that. No woman should be like this. A quiet and meek spirit, you can't be like this. You're supposed to be submissive. So when a man tells you to calm down, you got to calm down. He tells you no, no. That's it. Be quiet, please. Stop it. You got to be quiet. Brothers, don't let it harm you to say please. Hey, please, stop. Say please. Make it known. Oh, she playing me for a chump. Nope, she's not playing you for a chump. You have sisters want to be spoken to. They want to be reasoned with. So reason with them. And don't stick your hand out to ever touch her. I'm not touching you. Ever. Nope. Let me use these words. If these words don't stop you, I don't have control. I'm gonna prove I'm gonna show you what's in control. These scriptures rule, not the word. And I can use all the words that I use to get you, oh, baby this and baby that. Use that. I tell sisters the same thing. That's the part y'all don't know, though. Not to counsel sister. Use what you got. Tell this man you love him. Hey, baby, come here. Come on, sit down. I tell them that. So y'all thinking this? I'm just got you fluffing up to him. If you ask them, they'll tell you. I tell them, go ahead, humble yourself. Fluff on up to him. You know what he like. Greet him with a hug. Hey, baby, I'm sorry. Check this out. Let's work it out. I tell them the exact same thing. Because deep down inside, two people, they love each other, but they having a problem. And them spirits in y'all mind will tell you to hate one another. So I know that I will never tell a brother kick her out in the street. I never tell a sister to walk away from him. That's the set. You ain't finna set me up. You gonna go and deal with him anyway. So go on back in there and deal with him. Make up to him. and deal right with them. Now, if you don't listen and you're gonna do the opposite despite the counsel, and we had a class on Tuesday about counsel, you're gonna deal despite the counsel, then you're gonna get what you deserve. You're gonna get that, and you ain't gonna like it. And once you mess up, who am I? I'm just a brother. I can't fix anything. That's the Most High. Only the Most High can save and fix anything. Talk to Him. I already gave you His words that you didn't listen to. So, 26, but she that dishonored him in her pride shall be counted ungodly, a loud and cry woman, and his scowl shall be set out to drive away the enemies. You do not want to be a loud sister. You want to be a quiet sister. When you are angry, you must send up prayers and you must tell the man, hey, give me a second, man. I'm just angry. And then when you ask for a second, take some time and then go be reconciled. He shouldn't have to come looking for you. It doesn't take the rest of the day. That's grudging. It doesn't take until tomorrow. That's grudging. Gather yourself, get your mind together, and go right back, not to fight, but go back to be reconciled. Now, sisters that are not married, you can be like that with your friend. Sometimes you don't like it. Your friend did something. Your friend said something. You got a friend that did something or said something to you or against you or about you or whatever. You don't grudge. You get upset. They try to talk to you. Say, give me a moment. I'm getting it together. And then you go back and be reconciled. You go back and now you tell the person, listen, this has made me upset. I got to be honest. You did this. I didn't like it. And now you give them an opportunity. The Bible says, understand first. You could be wrong. It may be that he didn't do it. So everybody's not dealing in marriage. This is the part was for the married. There's parts used the same process deals with relation to relation, man to man, woman to woman. Okay. So that's it with that. My question is about meat. Also the word and conjunct these precepts together. Maybe connect. Do it shall be for me. The scripture only say that when it talk about her bearing seed and the fruit of the tree yielding seed. I'm not understanding. So let's go and see if we can. Genesis 1:29. That this is a statement and not a question. Now, Genesis 1:29, it says, and God said, behold, so this is the creation. I have given unto you every herb, some say herb, bearing seed, which is upon the face of the earth, and every tree, and the which is the fruit of a tree. So you know trees have fruits, have apples and oranges, pears and peaches. And there's other trees that bear fruit. Okay. Mangoes grow on trees, stuff like that. Yielding seed. So these are trees that yield seeds. To you, it shall be for food. That's what the word meat represents. It's not saying that you are going to have a lamb, a goat, a chicken, a turkey, a cow growing on a tree. The meat represents the food. Okay. Go to Ezra. Second Ezra, chapter 12. So Ezra was dealing with one of the angels, and he began to speak with the Israelites, our foreparents. In 46, he said, "Be of good comfort, O Israel, and be not heavy, thou house of Jacob, for the highest have you in remembrance, and the mighty have not forgotten you in temptation. As for me, I have not forsaken you," because at times he would drift off and he will go into a deep fast. And the angel will be dealing with him like the angels was dealing with Yahushua. They will be dealing with him, and they wouldn't see him for a time. Pay attention. "I have not forsaken you, neither have I departed from you, but am come into this place to pray for the desolation of Zion, and that I might seek mercy for the Lord's state of your sanctuary. And now go your way home, every man." So he told them to go home. "And after these days, I will come unto you." So the people went their way into the city, like as I commanded them. And I remained still in the field 7 days. And the angel, as the angel commanded me, and did eat only in those days of the flowers of the field, and had my meat of the herbs. So this is showing you, that is telling you that the herbs is the meat, and meat is another word for food, that it described herbs. So it's not actually telling you that it is the meat of flesh, but the meat of herbs. The same thing in Genesis 1:29. I hope that answers the question. Another question says, what do the poor in Matthew mean? So go to Matthew chapter 5. Okay. Matthew chapter 5 and verse 1. Seeing a multitude, he went up into a mountain, and when he was set, his disciples came unto him. So Christ is teaching the disciples. He opened his mouth and taught them. So he's talking to the disciples. And he said, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." Now, the Messiah, Yahushua, whom the word calls Jesus Christ, is talking to the apostles, the 12 disciples, about the Israelites. And as he's speaking to them, he knows that they have what? They have a poor spirit. And the spirit in them is poor, is struggling. But they coming around, they're going to come around, they're going to turn around. So when you're poor, that means you lack something. Like if you are financially poor, that means you lack money. but we would exhort you to get a job so that you're not poor in finances anymore, and that you would then begin to build some type of financial wealth. Now, you might not grow to get exceedingly wealthy, but you can come up out of a state to where now you can begin to get some of the things that you want. That's why whenever we see somebody begging, the first thing that we think in our mind is get a job, because the job is going to be the solution to your problems. So now when you see somebody poor in spirit, that means there's certain things that they lack in. So now they have to get involved into the scriptures so that they can start filling a void. So the continuation of the question is, it says, when we were to be rich in spirit, abounding and increasing. So you can't just pronounce somebody to be rich in spirit. They have to grow in spirit. That's when you have to go to 2 Peter chapter 2 or 2 Peter chapter 1. Second Peter chapter 1 and verse 1. Second Peter chapter 1 and verse 1. So remember, they have to grow into something. They have to have something added unto them. They have to add unto their faith works. Simon Peter, a servant and an apostle of Christ, because Peter remembers this. He remembers Christ taught this sermon about the poor. To them that have obtained like precious faith. Right. They got to have faith, okay, and add works to the faith. It says with us, because it was taught unto them. Okay? It was taught unto the 12 disciples, and the disciples had to teach the rest of the Israelites through the righteousness of the Most High and our Savior, Yahushua Christ. Grace and peace be multiplied unto you, meaning I really hope the best for you. That's what the grace and peace be multiplied. Grace and extension of time so that you can continue to build your poorness into a spiritual wealth. Okay? Through the knowledge of the Most High in Christ. Verse 3, according as his divine power have given us. That's the spirit. The spirit the Most High gives to you on the inside. It gives you the energy, the zeal, the spirit, the direction to keep the commandments, keep the Sabbath day, keep the diet. What about the stuff that we're talking to now? What about sisters being submissive, sisters being meek, sisters having a quiet spirit, people taking correction, people dealing with each other right? The divine spirit give those things to you, okay? And you go from being poor mentally, in heart and spirit, to being rich, because now your mind is going to then start professing the goodness of the Most High, how he helped you to overcome. Don't you know that people, if you have a good spirit on you and you're in good spirits, you have a good spirit on you and it's in your mind, you enjoy joy, peace, love, happiness. That's going to change your whole day. You're going to be feeling good. You're going to be happy, right or wrong. Right. Exactly. So are you going to feel poor in spirit then? No, you're not. You're going to feel rich in spirit. You're going to be, man, I got a lot of spirit. I'm feeling really good. Hey, what y'all want to do? You might be calling somebody on the phone. Hey, y'all want to do something? You trying to bring somebody, incorporate somebody. You have the energy now instead of you wore out, mentally drained. When you are poor in spirit, you're mentally drained. You don't want to do nothing. You're not interested in anything. It's like a damper on your soul, on your spirit. So it's the opposite. Rich in spirit is the opposite of being poor down, drained, fatigued, wore out, giving up hope, faint in your mind, worried about everything. You everybody understand that? Applying the scriptures enriches your spirit, even though applying the scriptures takes your spirit through a furnace. It walks you into adversity. That's okay. You got to do that so that you can grow. You cannot always kick it in the truth. You got a job to do. And it's a lot more deeper and spiritual than just walking around with fringes on tomorrow. Oh, I'm the Israelites. You got to do what I'm doing. Like the disciples had to do what Christ is doing. Christ was turning them into saviors, into Christs. He was turning them into somebody that was just like himself. So every day ain't going to be a day of kicking it. So when you read Isaiah 53, sometimes he was acquainted with grief. He had many sorrows. He said in Romans 15, the reproaches of them that reproached thee fell on me. So sometimes the problems that people deal with going to fall on you. And you have to deal with that. It's all about when you're going to get started. Do you know the people that step up to the plate and start doing this work, they going to get blessed. And you're going to be sitting there looking at them like, how he blessed? How he get this and how he get that? How she get this and how she get that? And they get this job and how the Most High giving them this. And you sit out there be wondering, how did he get a good woman? How she get a good man? How this and how that? When you sitting up there being out of pocket, dragging your feet, sneaky, not doing the right thing. All you doing is making yourself a day late and $1 short. You putting yourself in poverty. You're oppressing yourself with bad actions. You don't have to do that. Keep the commandments and go through the furnace of adversity. Come out the other end with the increasement of the Most High. You don't have to do that. We all got to go through that. It ain't no shortcut. It ain't no quick way to do it. You got to go through it. So, 2 Peter 1, verse 3, according as his divine power have given unto us all things that pertain to life and godliness. So that pouring spirit, he said blessed because guess what? It's going to turn into a spiritual richness. Through the knowledge of him that have called us to what? Glory and strength. That's what virtue means, strength. Praise and strength. Now you're going to be looking good. Now you're going to be doing good. So you're not going to always stay poor in spirit. Whereby are given unto us exceeding great and precious promises. And because we have great and precious promises, guess what? We're going to work for those great and precious promises. We're going to start doing the right thing because guess what? The Most High has promised us that he's going to help us, that we're not going to stay poor, that we're going to be rich in spirit, that our houses are going to be built, that our jobs are going to be successful. The Most High has promised us everything. And because he not just the future, the kingdom of heaven, resurrection from the dead. Well, what about now, Lord? Can you do something for me now? So he can do things for you now. Why do you think that you have the success now? You're not walking around with the wrong person, doing the wrong thing, broke as a joke. Everybody here work. And I understand that captivity ain't the best thing, but you're not suffering. I know we suffering, but it could be worse. So he provides, he takes care of us. He's making a way. I mean, I understand a lot of details, but guess what, Israel? It could be worse, man. And we don't want nothing worse. So we use the scriptures to get rich spiritually in our mind, using the knowledge of the Most High. This works. It works. You know it works. The only problem is the spirit of patience. You got to have patience. You got to be able to endure certain sufferings and endure certain afflictions and get on the time of life according to the scriptures and not just your time. Because if you make it your time, you're like, I want it right now. But right now, it's not. You're not ready for the now. Okay? That you might be, so this first, 2 Peter 1:4, that by these you might be partakers of the divine nature. That's the spiritual aspect, the divine nature. Christ was divine. He kept God's laws. But he wasn't divine because it was something that the Most High God just did. He was divine because he made a choice to keep his Father's commandments. We read that in John 15. If you keep my commandments, you shall abide in my love, like I kept my Father's commandments and became divine. I abide in his love. Keeping the commandments makes you have a different nature, is what I'm saying. Do we hear that? It makes you have a different nature. It puts you in a different tax bracket. So I said that tax bracket because you can understand it. You got billionaires and zillionaires. They up there. That's us. You're called the elite. You're the elect. You're the greatest people upon the face of the earth, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. There's nobody that's above you. You are in a different bracket. It's just not financially with money, not yet. Through the Spirit, the Lord said, all the earth is mine. He said it in Exodus 19. He's going to give it to you. Before you were base, low. So when the Messiah taught them that in Matthew chapter 5, he's like, oh, don't worry about them. They're going to be good. They might be poor. You see, what you see and what I see is two different things. They are going to grow to a level, to another bracket. Okay, now go to Ephesians and we'll be done with this question. Ephesians, the 4th chapter. You have got to grow to a different bracket by participating in the divine nature of applying the scriptures. Applying the scriptures is very essential to your life. If you don't, you're going to stay carnal. You will not escalate. You will not understand how to be in the spirit and worship the Most High God. What did I say? Ephesians chapter 4. Okay. Ephesians chapter 4. And remember, so I'm going to quote this. You can write it down. So we don't have to go to it. I'm going to quote John 4. (23 and 4). The true worshiper shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth. God is a spirit. They that worship him must worship him in spirit. So you gotta, in order to worship the Lord, you gotta like ascend to the divine nature of spiritual, which is dealing in his laws. So that's why it's so important. You cannot live without the laws of the Most High. You're not going to transition into a divine nature. You're still carnal. Now, he was telling the disciples to wait for everybody. Ephesians chapter 4. Ephesians 4:15. Speaking the truth in love. Speak the truth in love. Ephesians 4:15. Speak the truth in love. Why? Because there are people that has to that's got to receive it. Everybody understand that, right? That's people that got the what? So speak it in love. Be patient and wait on them. They're poor in spirit, but they're going to become rich. So speak it to them. They may grow up unto him in all things. They're going to grow up into him in all things because they what in spirit? Come on now. They what in spirit? Poor. They poor in spirit. You supposed to think like Christ. Remember, you part of the divine nature. You optimistic. You have hope in your people. You have hope and faith in the Most High that he's going to help these people to grow to a different level. You understand? He helps you. But if he help you, he can't help them. Everybody understand? Right. So for you husbands, just very quickly, this should instill hope and faith that your wives can change. Wives, same thing with us as men. This should instill hope and faith that there is hope for us. We can grow to please you. Our faults, someday we'll let these things go. And we'll be better men. The same way that we'll let your faults go and you'll be better women. We're going to grow up into him in all things. You got to see that like that. You got to be optimistic. You got to see that. You cannot just keep looking at each other like the devil. You're the devil. Stop doing that. Be patient. He was teaching them that in Matthew chapter 5. Okay? Now, which is the head? He's the height. Even Yahushua. He's that level. He's on top of everything. He is the poster child. He is the example. If goodness was a picture, that's him. He did it. So people are growing up to him, not us. So while they at the bottom and they coming up, don't stunt their growth with your personal opinion, emotions, or examples. Get out of the way and let them escalate unto him. They might pass you up. And they might be able to teach you or set an example for you. Are we mad at that? Please, no. Teach me. Set an example. Bring the goodness out of you, because that's going to help me increase to be better than I am. I need whatever the God got for me, and I want you to have whatever he got for you. Okay? Let people go unto him, which is the head, from whom the whole body fitly joined together, compacted by that which every joint supplieth, according to the effectual working of the measure of every part, make it increase of the body, unto the edifying of itself in love. In other words, people will get from something from everybody. All right? So I hope we should understand that. We should understand that. You are going to, whoever had this question, it's a good question. They're going to grow. Okay? It is important to grow up in righteousness. Can you teach about gathering instruction from something, from your youth up? Can you teach about gathering instruction from your youth up? It is important to grow up in righteousness. Can you teach about gathering instruction from your youth up? Hey. Let's just deal with when is the time for somebody to gather instruction? Proverbs. I'm sorry, what did you say?
When it's given.
When it's given. Good answer. When it's given. I want us to now begin to start thinking about certain precepts. That's what I do. I get a question right off the flip. I'm rolling through this mental Rolodex. Okay, what precept is going to gather instruction from your youth up? Proverbs chapter 1 and 23. Proverbs chapter 1 and 23. It says, turn you at my reproof. When somebody is trying to make you better, you're supposed to turn. You are in your youth. If you are in your youth, or you in the beginning of the ministry, you in the middle, you at the end, it doesn't matter. Wherever you at, you have to turn. The word is being spoken unto you. You got to turn at the reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you if you turn. The Lord said he's going to pour out his spirit on you. So the Lord will see you actually turning. And when he see you turning, he said, oh, okay. What's he going to do? From heaven, the Most High going to now begin to pour out his spirit upon you. But what does his spirit do? Now go to the book of Ezekiel chapter 36. Gathering it from your youth up. Listen from your youth up. Listen when somebody is telling you. Ezekiel 36:26. Ezekiel 36:25. Then will I sprinkle clean water upon you, and you shall be clean. So if you're going to gather it, the Most High, if you turning at the reproof, the Lord's going to sprinkle water, the word. He's going to give you the word to clean you up from all your filthiness. So the reproof, you got to turn. Every time the correction comes, you got to turn. That's how I did it. If I could tell you the slimy things, oh yeah, man, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, this and that, this and that. Well, you should believe what I'm telling you. When I was coming up, man, when somebody was telling me certain things, I was turning from that. I really was, and I was a hardcore street dude. It was telling me. I was reading the scriptures and telling me, I was like, oh yeah, all right, I'm gonna stop doing that then. Just like that. Let me stop doing that. A lot of what you have, I didn't have. I did have elders and counselors, and I had all of that, but I had to get it because I wanted it. I want this. What do you want? What do you want? You gotta want this. You can't have somebody chasing you. Nobody chased me. I wanted it. I kept myself from my filthiness. I had filthiness. I stopped. I kept myself from it. That's why when I talk about sacrifice and sufferings and afflictions, it seems so easy, and I'm probably make it sound so easy because it is what it is. It's been like this ever since I joined the truth. What you can't do. And I've learned to tolerate it and accept it. And I take pleasure in the stuff that I can do. But the whole objective is to get you away from the filthiness, not to let you try and cohabitate with it. Then you didn't gather the instructions. You didn't listen. You're not obeying the voice of the Most High. You're double-minded. You're returning back to a vomit like a dog. You can't do that. And from all your idols, stuff that you lift up to make something bigger than God in your life. Now that's an idol. Whether it's a man, woman, a job, a drug, the bottle, whatever it is, behavior, your conversation. He said, will I cleanse you? A new heart, that's the new mind, will I give unto you. But if you got a new mind, you ain't going to even be thinking or saying the same things that you used to think or say. You got to be doing things differently. And a new spirit. New spirit. See, because the old spirit, the Most High, another for that. You had to rebuke the spirits, the demons that was on you, get that stuff up out of you. Now you're confident. Now you have a good spirit. A new spirit. He said, well, I put within you. All right? See that? He gonna put it within you. It ain't gonna just come from the earth and jump in you. It's gonna jump on you. Think about this. This part right here. This part right here. You turn it. You gather instruction. The question was, can you teach about gathering instruction from your youth up? You gathering the instruction. When you gather instruction and when you turn, the Lord said He's going to pour out His Spirit upon you to make you clean. You gather an instruction. The instruction is going to teach you to deny unworldly and godly lust. The instruction is going to teach you what to do and what not to do. The instruction is going to teach you to resist the devil. So as these things now begin to flee from you, like it says, resist the devil and he'll flee. Now these things are going to leave you. Now what God is going to do? Remember, the instruction is going to tell you not to go here, not to go there, not to do this, not to do that, not to call here, not to call there. Instruction, reproof of instruction is the way of life. It's going to now take over your young mind. And when it do that, what the Lord going to do after you turn at his reproof, he is going to put within you. So it ain't going to come from the earth. It's going to come from God. He's going to put within you a new spirit to go with the new heart that's going to lead and guide the new mind that he gives to you. Now your behavior should be something different. If you are living and walking in the same footsteps, you don't have a new heart. You don't have the new spirit. It's still carnal, earthly. You got to get rid of that. You're not turning at the reproof. This should make sense. I'm making it very perfectly clear using the scriptures. This is a choice that you got to make. If you want the Most High to put a spirit in you, you got to turn at his reproof. He'll make known his words and he'll pour out his spirit in you. And your mind is going to think differently, and your footsteps, your actions are going to do different things. It's going to be different. But you got to begin somewhere at every reproof without picking. This is the terms. You cannot pick and choose what righteousness you're going to do. You got to do it all. You got to accept it. Some things, yes, you agree with. Some things, yes, you disagree with. Because you disagree with it doesn't make it wrong. I just happen to not disagree with any of it. Because I love the Lord. You know what I'm saying? This is his thing. But there are some people that disagree with certain things. You got to overcome those disagreements because you cannot be over righteous. And over righteous meaning you doing too good. Over righteous meaning you're going to establish something that's better than God. You can't establish nothing that's better than the Most High. That's foolishness. Because whatever law is there is meant for a particular situation that might not have nothing to do with you. It has its job to do. So it doesn't need your opinion. It doesn't need your emotions. Go sit down. It's not about you. So you cannot speculate about everything that God has done. You can barely run yourself. And if you're a woman, can you submit? Can you be quiet? Well, then how in the hell are you going to tell God how to run a planet with people that you can't even sense? You can't even number all the people on the planet. You got to stay, but you got to get back in your lane. You a man, you can't even keep it in your pants. You can't even get off drugs. You can't even stop anger. You can't even humble yourself. I'm telling you to plead with your woman. Say, yo, baby, ain't like that. I love you. Come on. Sit down. Let's do this. You can't even do that. And I ain't talking about you, brothers. I'm just talking about if we ever try to come up with something to where we cannot, or we disagree with pertaining to the Bible, you can't even reason with yourself to control yourself. How are you ever going to understand the sense that God has when it comes to a law according to the scriptures? You can't even process the things that are in your control. The things that are in your control, turn at the reproof of that, and he will pour out his spirit upon you and make yourself increase. Okay, I hope we understand that. Next, can you show scripture about the lost books, Enoch, Jubilees, to prove we don't need them? The book of Isaiah. Okay. The book of Isaiah, chapter 34. Okay. Isaiah 34:16. Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. No one of these shall fail. None shall want her mate. In other words, when you deal with the Bible, it says, seek ye out of this. None of these are going to fail. None of these prophecies are going to fail. And there's no other book or prophecy that you can mate with the Bible. Like a man desires a mate, a woman desires a mate, lovebirds, even the sparrows desire a mate, but not the Bible. For my mouth have commanded, the root word of commanded is command, which also leads to the commandments. Where are the commandments? The commandments is in the book of the Lord called the Bible. We call it, his spirit have gathered these things. Now, I'm going to read an epistle of James. I don't know if you have it in your Bibles. It says, to the most high and mighty prince, James, by the grace of God. It's in the very front of the Bible. By the grace of God. Most of you probably will not have it if you do not have this 1611 translation. The translator of the Bible wish grace, mercy, and peace through Yahweh Shai, our Lord, our Hamashiach, meaning our Messiah. Great and manifold were the blessings, most dreadful sovereign, which Almighty God, the Father of all mercies, bestowed upon us, the people of England. When first he sent your majesty's royal person to rule and reign over us. For whereas, so he's talking about himself, James, for whereas it was an expectation of many who wish not well on our Zion, that upon the setting of that bright occidental star, Queen Elizabeth of most happy memory, some thick and palpable clouds of darkness would have overshadowed this land, that men should not have been in doubt which way they were to walk, and that should hardly be known who was to direct the unsettled state and appearance of your majesty. As the sun of his strength instantly dispelled those supposed and surmised myths, and gave unto all that were well affected according or exceeding cause of comfort, especially when we beheld the government established in your highness and your hopeful seed by an undoubted title, and this also accompanied with peace and tranquility at home and abroad. But among our joys, there was no one that more filled our hearts than the blessed continuance of the preaching of God's sacred word among us, which is that inestimable treasure which excelleth all the riches of the earth, because the fruit thereof extended itself not only to the time spent in this transitional world, but directed and disposed men unto their eternal happiness which is above in heaven. Then not to suffer this to fall to the ground, talking about his word, the scriptures, but rather to take it up and to continue it in that state wherein the famous predecessor of your highness did leave it, nay, to go forward with the confidence and resolution of a man in maintaining the truth of Christ and propagating it far and near, is that which have so bound and firmly knit the hearts of all your majesty's loyal and religious people unto you, that your very name is precious among them, that I do it behold you with comfort, and they bless you in their hearts. So he's talking to God, and that sanctified person who under God is immediate author of their true happiness, and that this contentment do it not diminish or decay, but every day increase it and make it take its strength, when they observe that the zeal of your majesties towards a house of God do it not slack or go backwards, but is more and more kindled, manifesting itself abroad in the furthest parts of Christendom by writing in defense of truth, of the truth, which have given such a blow unto that man of sin, talking about Satan, or Esau, Edom, the Roman Empire, as will not be healed. And every day at home, by religious and learned discourse, by frequenting the house of God, by hearing the word preached and cherishing the teachers thereof, by caring for the church as a most tender and loving nurse and father. There are infinite arguments of this right, Christian and religious affliction of your majesty, but none is more forcible to declare it to others than the vehement and perpetuated desire of accompanying and publishing this work, which now with all humility we present unto your majesty. So this is going into the very thing that you're reading, and not things that are outside of this transition that James, the King James himself, had transitioned and translated in the spirit of the Most High. Because if he wanted those books, Joshua, Enoch, Jubilees, these things would have been here. Let's continue. For when your highness had once out of deep judgment apprehended how convenient it was that out of the original sacred tongues, together with comparing of the labors, both in our own, meaning Hebrew and other foreign languages, of many worthy men who went before us, there should be one more exact translation of the Holy Scriptures into the English tongue. Your Majesty did never desist to urge or to excite those to whom it was commended, that the work might be hastened and that the business might be expedited in such a decent manner. What is the work? The transition of this from the Hebrew into this English Greek that we're reading, as a matter of such importance might justly require. Continuing. Because what am I answering? I'm answering a question about, can I show about those other books to prove that we don't need them? Here, he would have translated them. When I read this a long time ago, I understood that he would have translated them if he felt that it was a necessity. The most I would have put a spirit in him to have him translate. So you can't just trust any spirit or any man. You have to trust who the Most High dealt with in their time period to do such a work. Because if you don't, then you know what it'll do? It'll cast your mind off and you'll start doing and believing other things outside of repentance for remission of sins, which is in exchange for a cancellation of debt. Moving forward. And now at last, by the mercy of God and the continuance of our labors, it being brought unto such a conclusion as that we have great hopes that the Church of England shall reap good fruit thereby. We hold it our duty to offer it to the Majesty, not only to our King and Sovereign, meaning the Most High, but as to the principal mover and author of the work, humbly craving your most sacred Majesty, that since things of this quality, meaning the translation of the Bible, have ever been subject to the censors of ill meaning, meaning people been coming forward and bringing in other stuff, ill meanings and discontented persons. So you got to be careful with that because they try and put stuff out to try and trick you. It may receive approbation and partridge from so learned and judicial, how you pronounce it?
Judicious.
That a prince, as your highness is, whose allowance and acceptance, meaning he's a good judgment of our labors, meaning accept this translation, show more honor and encourage us. Like I said, this is what we need. Than all the calculations and hard interpretations of other men. That's what you read. That's what you're getting into, other men with all the books. It shall dismay, meaning speak badly, dismay us. It may confuse us. So that if on the other side we shall be traduced by papists, meaning the Roman Catholic Church, papist persons. So you got to be careful because these Romans be bringing in all these other books. Okay. Papist persons at home, meaning right here in England or abroad, or dispersed amongst the planet, who therefore will malign us, meaning hate us, try and deceive us. You got to be careful about the books. Remember Psalms 83. Now, because we are poor instruments to make God's holy truth to be yet more and more known unto the people, whom they desire still to keep in what? Ignorance and darkness. You didn't even know this was here.
I did.
That's okay. That's okay. James was razor sharp, man. He knew that the people do things like that. Satan put a lot of these books out there, and you got Israel chasing up after that. Okay? We're going to finish it, though. It says, or if on the other side, we shall be maligned by self-seated brethren. So you got to even be minded that there are Israelites that are self-seated, conceited, self-conceited, that they will do certain things thinking that they're somebody, and the Most High never even moved them to do it. All right? Who run their own ways and give likings unto nothing. What is he talking about? The translation of the book, the Bible. They give likings unto nothing. Books. Moving on. But what is framed by themselves and hammered on an anvil, we may rest assured, supported within by the truth and innocency of a good conscience, having walked the ways of simplicity and integrity. Don't make it deep. Don't try and go deep. Simple and integrity as before the Lord, and sustain without by the powerful protection of your majesty's grace and favor, which will ever give countenance to honest and our endeavors against bitter censors and uncharitable imputations. The Lord of heaven and God bless your majesty with many and happy days, that as his heavenly hand have enriched your highness with many singular and extraordinary graces, meaning the spirit to do this, so you may be the wonder of the world in the latter age, for happiness and true facility to the honor of that great God and the good of his church through Yahweh Mashiach and Savior. And that facility is the ability to find appropriate expression for our thought process to teach the scriptures. All right. Now, so I hope that answers that. There was a couple more, but I think that did it. That should do it. You don't need it.
Yeah.
Yes,
And then also like those types of books, they're not titled like the Bible or nothing like that. Right?
Nah, they just say the book or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's another thing, like, because you see how they come in with this door to door, how they putting that stuff in the atmosphere, like coming to take guns and Bibles away. like they don't come after the other books, but they come after the Bible. Like even the Navy, at one point they was burning Bibles and stuff like that. There's a big campaign about taking out the Bible out of motel rooms in the drawer. When you can find a Bible there, there's a big campaign about getting rid of that. There's a lot of stuff attacking the Bible, just like they took out the Apocrypha out the Bible. So it's a lot of attacks on the Bible because this is the true book. No, they've been burning Bibles. They've been.
How somebody says, how do you reprove a bad spirit of an atheist? Second Ezra.